Valve, the company that brought you Half-Life, Left 4 Dead, Portal.
Good work, Boots.
The brains behind the Steam library and the creators of the Valve Index, which at the time was a best-in-class headset and set the standard for future generations. The Valve Deckard will be their next VR headset, and through some digging, I have reasons to believe that this could revolutionize VR as we know it and create an entirely new category of virtual reality. Now first, before we get into speculation, we will take a look at everything we do know, from leaks to patent files. As always, analyst, YouTuber, sadly it's Bradley, is responsible for most of the insider information and has noted that the Valve Index 2 could be set to have 4K micro OLED displays with a wide field of view. Most likely would be using pancake lenses to achieve this, as they are capable of around 140 degrees field of view, as stated by Michael Abrash a few years back. According to patent files, Deckard is expected to have full inside-out tracking and also eye tracking. That especially is very important when we do some educated guesswork later in the video. This is actually great news. I remember my first experience with VR through the HTC Vive, and while base stations do give best-in-class tracking, inside-out tracking is definitely a better trade-off, for a number of reasons. One being lack of holes being drilled on the wall. The Deckard is reportedly going to be powered by Qualcomm's XR2 chip along with AMD APU, putting it in a slightly similar position with the Steam Deck. Now this is where things could get really interesting. If you're a fan of Gabe Newell, the CEO of Valve, we all know he's extremely passionate about the potential of VR, and that makes the Steam Deck a slightly odd business decision, unless it was a precursor to the Deckard. If Valve really want to compete with Meta and other VR companies, they need to do something bold. This is a statement from Newell relating the Steam Deck to VR. One of the things Steam Deck represents is battery-capable high-performance horsepower that eventually you could use in VR applications. You can take the PC and build something that's much more transportable. We're not really there yet, but this is a stepping stone. And this, from Valve's Greg Kuma. We're not ready to say anything about a standalone VR headset, but Steam Deck's hardware would run well in that environment. It's very relevant to us and our future plans. Now this is incredibly interesting, and what this suggests would solve a huge problem with VR at the moment, and that's the slow death of PC VR. A standalone VR headset capable of running PC VR games natively would be a huge game changer. But the biggest issue of, say, having a Steam Deck VR headset would be resolution. The Steam Deck is optimal when games are ran at 720p, which in VR terms is pathetic. With the Deckard reportedly having 4K micro OLED panels, it's going to need some serious beef to get this to run. Unless there is one technology that could make this more than possible. Well, thankfully there is, and that technology is eye tracking. The potential of eye tracking to increase performance is the holy grail of VR. It's recently reported that the PSVR 2 has a performance increase of nearly 4x. Due to eye tracking, which is mind-blowing. I'll explain briefly how it works. If you know where the eyes are looking, you can easily choose to only render a small portion of the screen in full clarity. To the viewer, the image looks no different, but it saves a huge amount of processing power. That's how we will be able to have extremely high resolutions at little GPU cost. That's like YouTube only rendering a screen that's this size in comparison. Now, if we add all of that up with a standalone headset from Valve, with similar hardware and software to the Steam Deck, in combination with eye tracking to allow for full resolution PC VR, then what they would have essentially done is created an entirely new category of headset. The birth of standalone PC VR. The potential of this could be mind-blowing. The amount of incredible titles we could play at no compromise would be a game changer. And Meta should be worried if this is the case. The only hurdle to mass adoption is price. The Index is known for being a pricey headset, and it's likely the Deckard would be no different, but with the Cambria reportedly releasing at a bigger price tag, it might be the right time to get the competition going. I'd be interested to know what you think about a standalone PC VR headset, so drop a comment down below. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, smash that subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next one.